Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about, you read the title, mental health. How have I been doing mentally, but also I just wanted to start a convo around mental health, around some heavy stuff, but we'll get into it. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe to become part of the Famiri, which is what we call our squad over here, and that's Surinamese for family. I do natural hair videos, I do plus size fashion, and I also like to talk and do chit chat. So if you love that, subscribe because it's free and it would help me a lot. So thank you so much. Okay, so I decided that I'm gonna talk about this while doing my makeup, but me and telling you what I'm doing on my face and trying to talk about something, that's a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the things on my face. I kind of have a plan, kind of don't. Gonna put everything on my face and I'm gonna talk to you about what we're talking about today. And all of the products that I'm using, you're gonna find them in the description box. If I'm feeling fancy during editing, you might even see some products pop up on the screen. If you don't, that meant I don't feel fancy. We're just gonna talk. It's probably gonna be a heck of a long video, so get you some snacks, get something to drink. I only have water today because I'm intermittent fasting, so I'm still fasting and I'll eat later. Last thing before I get into it, if you notice, I'm wearing lash extensions. Remember like a few vlogs ago when I was just like, I don't think I'll ever be putting lash extensions again. Here we are. I mean, I did it. Okay, so I just know I have makeup. Haven't been wearing it, so I'm just gonna take everything and put it on my face all at the same time. That's literally my plan. That's what we gonna do. And let's get into it. So I don't know if I'm supposed to give a trigger warning for this. I'm just gonna do it, I guess. Trigger warning. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about mental health, but I'm also gonna be talking about things like suicide and suicidal thoughts. Now, this is something that you struggle with. I don't ever want to trigger anybody. I hope that everything that I say, that God will guide the words that I say, that it will only uplift and not trigger people downwards. But this is a trigger warning. Also, I'm not a mental health professional, which you will notice if you hear me talking. So yeah, I don't know if that was a trigger warning, but it was my warning. Okay, so if you watched my last kind of like an update that I did, which I'll place in the iCard, which is probably here, I think, then you will have known that beginning of the year I went to Suriname, my home country, and when I came back, I told you guys like it was that like a family member was sick. There were things that triggered me that happened there. Kind of realized like, yo, I've been talking about going to a therapist for so long, but I hadn't really done it. So I realized that it was kind of time to visit a therapist. So if you watch my vlog, you will have already known that I had my first therapy session like a while ago, and that process of going to a therapist is really tiring because it kind of gets worse. It kind of gets worse before it gets better with therapy. So you're digging up like a lot of stuff that you think is completely normal, is completely like, you're just like, I'm fine, I'm doing fine. I just want to go to therapy for this isolated thing. And maybe this, and maybe this. And then you go to therapy and the therapist is like, okay, so you want to talk about this? And we are. But I also want to talk about this. And then you look at the therapist like, why you want to talk about this? This is nothing. This is normal, okay? This is not even connected. I want to talk about this. And then y'all talk about this. And you notice that this is also out of place. And then you notice that this has a lot to do with this. Has a lot to do with this. but you actually like this because it's a coping mechanism. Everything that you actually thought was pretty normal and that was helping you cope, it's kind of taken under a microscope with therapy. And the process itself is actually really tiring. It gets worse with therapy before it gets better. Ooh, this is getting goopy. That's not good. Oh, this is turning completely white. Not good. Not good at all. Anyway, we shall see what we're doing. So the process of therapy is a lot. And one thing that really happened in that period that kind of shook me up, I started to be confronted with suicide around me. And the first time I heard that someone had taken their own life was when my mom told me that someone in my family who I had never met, like a really far away relative, had taken their own life, and that of their spouse. And even though I had never met that person before, it really had me thinking. Obviously it's your family, but you've never met them before, so it's kind of weird because your family members know that person but you don't, right? So that's different. After that, an acquaintance that I didn't really know like very well, but I had interacted with him like multiple times, and my husband knew him better than I did. He had also taken his life. That one was rough. That was actually really rough because there were so many questions and so many things that were going through my mind, because he was very young and he was also a Christian. If you don't know, my husband and I are Christians, and it was kind of like it was like waking up from a dream where everybody told you like, this is the fairy tale, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, wait a second, this is real life. And if you're a Christian, or if you're in the church, nobody talks a lot about pain and emotions and depression in church. So when you're young and when you're a Christian, you usually are so focused on gratefulness and so focused on being positive and so focused on snapping out of it that you think that the thoughts that you have, the dark clouds that are around your head, that they are just some way gonna magically be preyed off of you. Magically they're gonna disappear, and you're gonna have a point in your life where you don't feel sad anymore. That was me. I was literally, the last few years, I have had some pretty dark clouds around my head. I wouldn't say that I have had clear suicidal thoughts. I haven't, but I did notice that there were moments where I was just like, is this life? Like, is this it? Is it just always gonna be this way? Is it just always gonna be hard? And hearing first a very distant family member, once again, who I've never met before, hearing what happened to them, and then hearing how this person that I met, I knew, who seemed so happy, so one with the fairy tale that's being told to us, like, I don't know. I kind of just thought like, okay, so what if these thoughts that I have, like these dark clouds, what if they're not temporary? What if they don't magically disappear one day? What if I don't address them and I allow myself to go down the rabbit hole where one day I don't want to live anymore? And that was just it was a really scary thought. It was a very scary thought, actually. And in that time, I had my therapy session. So I'm taking a break from therapy right now just to get my funds in order, because that's another thing. Therapy is expensive when it actually shouldn't be, if you ask me. And the lady that I go to is like really awesome. Like, she gives you the chance to kind of get your funds together, and then you can kind of have appointments where you need it, right? After this had happened a few months ago, I also saw a lot of news of a lot of young people in the Netherlands and in Suriname ending their own life. I've been noticing that it's been happening a lot more. I've been confronted with it a lot more than I have. And a part of me thinks it has to do with the time that we're living in right now. Like, people are anxious and depressed, and they've had to be inside for like almost a year. That does something to you. That really does something to you. One thing that my therapist actually wanted to talk to me about is my life, my ideal life. And at first I was just like, what is this woman doing? I mean, this has nothing to do with anything. But actually it had a lot to do with it. So she talked to me about my ideal life, and I had noticed that my ideal life actually centers a lot around achievement. It doesn't really center a lot about around money, although money and financial freedom is a big part of it. But it's not exactly about money. It's about freedom. It's about freedom and accomplishing things. If you don't know, I am a content creator. You might know. And I'm also an entrepreneur together with my husband. And being an entrepreneur, it can be hard, okay? And we identified that a lot of my life and a lot of how I see my ideal life centers around freedom, and the freedom that I thought I would get by accomplishing things, which would give me money, which would help me to be financially independent, which would give me freedom. And that is how I see my ideal life. And what we noticed is that my view for that ideal life is here, but it's literally the only option that I gave myself for not just my ideal life, but for my standard of living, which means that everything that is underneath this is not good enough, including my life now. So this right here, this very ambitious way of living is what my mind has seen as the only option, the only way that life would be worth living. And if you didn't know, I'm not there yet. I'm not financially free yet, okay? No, not even close. If your life right now is here and this is the only way you think that you're gonna live, no wonder that you're not happy with your life. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for a life of being unhappy. One thing that I'm learning now is how can I, in the life that I have right now, create small wins in the areas that are important to me. A part of me really thought that that had nothing to do with the things that I'm going through, the things that I'm being confronted with, but it actually did. The thoughts that I was having, like, yo, is this life? Is this it? Always stemmed from a place of emptiness. And I noticed that I had started to be really unfulfilled in life, in my career, working so much and focusing so much on my career and not enough on building meaningful relationships in my life. I noticed that it was just unbalanced. And that's the process where I'm in right now. Noticing like, hey, this is unbalanced, it's not enough. You now have to create the life that you feel fulfilled in. Hey Famiri, so Future Minerva here. I just wanted to kind of reiterate that this is the process for me. In no way am I saying that if someone is feeling empty or dealing with suicidal thoughts, that it stems from the same place that I'm describing now. It's more that we were exploring where certain thoughts were coming from for me. And for me, it was a stemming from a place of feeling empty, feeling unfulfilled with where my life was at that point. And for me, that means two things. One, redefining what is important to me. And if I look at my ideal life, how can I bring it from this big ideal life to smaller, little fulfilling ways that I can enjoy what I think is important right now, so my life feels more fulfilling? And then secondly is, how can I, remembering what is important to me, how can I balance my life better so that I prioritize those things that are important to me, which in turn will help me feel more fulfilled in life? Because for me, those thoughts were stemming from feelings of emptiness. So yeah, so everybody's different. This is just my disclaimer. This was the process for me. If you're if you're having problems with these type of thoughts, please do know that there are in every country a helpline that you can call and you can get help, okay? Please don't go through this alone. Find community or call a number. Yes, I just wanted to say that. Let's get back to the video. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know if you are in your life and you're looking around and you're just like, I love my life. My life is so amazing. I'm so fulfilled. Or if you're looking around and you're just like, is this it? If you notice that you're not fulfilled in your life, take a step back. Even though it is scary, take a step back. Ask yourself, what does my ideal life look like? Because if you ask yourself that, you'll find out what you really value, like what is really important to you. Apparently, freedom is really important to me. Apparently, I do not want to stress about money. I don't think anybody wants to stress about money, by the way, but apparently that's really important to me. What I'm trying to learn is creating steps of many steps up towards this point. I actually have to learn how to do that. And that's the thing that I would like to share. Like, if you notice, like, this is the only possible standard that you see for your life, for your career, or for your family, try to see, like, where am I at? Am I here? If this is 0 and this is 100, what would 10 look like? There's so much going on in this world. Be kind to yourself, please. Be kind to yourself. And it is okay to ask yourself what it is that you want. It's okay to ask yourself, what is the ideal life that I would like to have? And then to find ways to create small wins right now. That's kind of what I wanted to share, what I'm learning right now, and I hope that it can help someone. Hope defers makes a heart sick. If you're literally just hoping and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and it seems like your breakthrough, like that new season is never gonna come, it sucks. And it just makes you feel empty and alone. And I'm just saying, if you recognize those feelings, maybe it'll help you too. One thing that I do notice that is helping me, which I would also like to share, is a morning routine. And when I'm telling you this now, it's not like I consistently have a morning routine. No, I'm still working on that. Today, I did my morning routine. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did my morning routine. And the other days I didn't have a morning routine. But what I do notice, because it's so sporadic, I notice a difference immediately. On the days where I do have a morning routine, I am more in tune with God, with what I believe in, I am able to conquer a hard day more easily. So I hope that all this rambling has been helpful in some sort of way. I don't know how. I really don't know how. I thought this video was gonna be a lot more enlightening than I feel like it is right now. But here we are. We're just gonna edit it and see what happens. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. I'm just gonna let the camera roll and I'm just gonna do the rest because I feel like it's coming out really nicely. And then I'm gonna come back with the finished look. Let's do it. This is what we're looking like. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so like I said, I was rambling a bit more than I thought I would. I hope there's at least something in here that you're just like, that helps. I don't know what it would be. If not, I hope you at least enjoyed my rambling. I hope that you will be courageous and that God will give you the ability to hope and to believe that there's gonna be more than what you're seeing right now. That sometimes is all we need. We just need to choose sometimes to hope. And honestly, that's hard. So I don't want anybody to ever make you feel like hoping and believing isn't hard or that it's easy to believe for something else when the bad thing that you're seeing now is everything that you've ever known. It's not easy, but I know that God wants to help us to believe for more and to hope for more. And I know God wants us to remember that He loves us so much. And even though so many messed up things are happening in this broken world, that He wants us to know that His eye is on us. And I don't know when, I don't know how, but a breakthrough is coming and better times are coming. And even when we don't see it, God is working on our behalf. So yeah, just wanted to share that. So I was just wearing this dress. I really like this dress from Zara. So this is the vibe that I'm giving today. I'm gonna share a perfume. First, I thought I was gonna wear this perfume. By the way, perfume is kind of like my new obsession. It's actually been an obsession when I used to live in Suriname, and I've revisited my old love. At first, I thought I was gonna wear this. It's Dolce & Gabbana L'Imperatrice. Listen, I did not get French in school, okay? So I'm probably gonna say the names wrong. And guess what? It's okay. It's kind of like light, florally, fresh scent. But then I was just like looking at the color, looking at the vibe, looking at how my makeup is kind of sultry. I'm going for another perfume, which is by L'Occitan, another French word. Oeuf de Bois. That's not how you say it. I'm gonna wear this one. It's actually a men's perfume. It's a eau de toilette. And honestly, if you're looking for a dupe of Tom Ford Tobacco Vanilla, try this. It's not like, when you smell it, it kind of smells the same, but when you wear it, it's not exactly the same. I feel like Tom Ford is a bit more of a sweeter base. The vanilla is more present than it is in this, and I think Tom Ford is more of a sophisticated scent. It lasts longer as well, but for the price, I think I bought this for 50 euros here in the Netherlands, and Tom Ford is like what, 130 for like a small bottle. So for now, until I get my points right, this is a really nice one. So and yeah, I like it. The staying power is not as much as the Tom Ford one, but I just put it in my bag and I spray it multiple times a day. I don't care. That's just what I do. Okay, so that was it for today. I hope in some way you enjoyed this video. I hope you had something to drink or something to eat, and please let me know in the comments, like, did anything resonate with you? Is there anything that you're like, girl, that's me, this is what I've been dealing with? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk in the comments. If not, let me know, how are you doing? What have you been dealing with? What are the thoughts that you've been dealing with nowadays? And I would like to create a very safe space. So if you're going through the comments and you see people's comment, please, if you have uplifting words, share them. If not, leave the people alone. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say for today. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Like I said, if you're new, subscribe to become part of the Famiri, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day, you wonderful human being. Bye.